right. Cheers to a day well spent. I have to tell you, I'm kind of at odds with myself right now. It was a 33-mile day, and I'm happy about that, because that was 3 hours or 3 miles more than what I was planning as a baseline. But I got into Maggie Valley, I don't even know, 30 minutes ago or so, the city limits of Maggie Valley. And I couldn't find anywhere to sleep, I became very nervous with the idea, I've never been through Maggie Valley in a way that means anything, Let's let these puppies out of these sandals, my dude. Come on, get off me. Oh my God. Okay. But yeah, I don't know anything about Maggie Valley. I just know that it's so it's somewhat of a ski town tourist destination kind of thing. And I just miscalculated, And so now the opportunity cost of that miscalculation is that I'm at a Ramada Inn. And yeah, I was thinking about it to myself. I was like, I really don't have to just purely torture myself, especially in a situation like this where, I'm looking at the Methodist church and I'm like, could I sneak somewhere around there and camp quietly and get away with it? And then there was another area that was close to a substation that fed Maggie Valley, and I was looking at the gravel road around it, and I was like, could I make something work here? It's not quite as far as I want to go, but man, yeah, walked into town and I was just like, there's nothing I can do here without, blatantly trespassing, and I just it would be a shame if something bad happened when it didn't need to. I guess really what I'm thinking about is the law interfering and intervening. And it was a big day, and I don't need to justify it to myself, but man, I will say it's nice. If I had known that I was going to do this, I wouldn't have carried so much weight. I still have a 1.5 liters of water that I have in my backpack, and I also carried a beer all day, which I didn't need because I ended up coming much farther into town than I even expected. But there is breakfast tomorrow for free. So there's that's a silver lining, and I don't have to pack or unpack anything, which I still will because I enjoy doing that. So I can dry out some gear, you know what I'm saying? In terms of strategy, this is a good opportunity cost, even though I don't even know really why. I guess it's stubbornness. If I'm trying to analyze myself, why. I guess it's the self-reliance too. To me, it feels like going to a hotel is kind of like saying I surrender or something. I walked all day long, and a certain type of icing to a certain type of cake, I suppose, would be walking until I found a campsite that I also didn't pay for. But I don't know. I guess this is an opportunity where I can feel a certain type of need to take care of myself, and that I shouldn't resist that when there are so many obstacles to me doing what I stubbornly want to do rather than what is actually good for me. So I guess you're catching me on the tail end of working through all this stuff. I was just walking down the main street of Maggie Valley, looking left and right feverishly and just being could I sleep there? Could I make something work there? And it's kind of vital for me to stay in town because I haven't been carrying very much food on purpose. And so I didn't want to walk through the town and then not have any access to food or water because I didn't plan for that, I kind of planned to stay on the periphery, which is what I usually do, of towns. Usually when I'm road walking or stealth camping in town or whatever it is, bike riding, I like to be able to go to a town twice, since the gas stations are typically on the east and west or north and south end of a town. you can kind of get a few resources from like one of them, and then you can go through the town the next day and get more resources as you walk through the town. That's typically how I like to do it. But yeah, this time it just didn't work. But hey, it could be worse. I haven't had a shower since whenever I stayed with my parents, which I don't know if I have any. Do I have any discerning pictures from that time period? Because I don't even know how many days it's been since then. Probably, was it Monday? Got into North Carolina, Winding Stair Gap. When would I have seen my parents? Sunday. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh wow, so it's almost been a week. It'll be a week tomorrow since I was at my parents' house. So I haven't had a shower for that amount of time. I have not stayed indoors at all until now, which again I feel like is a certain type of defeat, but I will forgive myself. Again, there are things that this glass is certainly more than half full. Like I should be appreciative of myself for letting myself do this, especially after a 33-mile day. And boy, what a day it was, man. So I started I don't know, it was a few miles west of Bryson City, maybe about 5. And then I went through Cherokee, and then I went all the way to Maggie Valley. And the stats for that are 33.08 miles, moving time 9 hours and 10 minutes. I burnt 4,900 calories, which is hard to believe. Elevation gain of 3,300 feet, which I definitely felt. Max elevation of 4,343, which I'm shocked by. But I suppose I did go up. I went up really, really high. It's funny because, it's like kind of all the greatest hits for me out here. Like I'm going by, I used to do this loop in Cherokee where I would go up on the Blue Ridge Parkway and then come down this road called Soko, and that would take you back into Cherokee. And I ended up walking up that road today that I typically would go down. So again, climb up the Blue Ridge Parkway part and then come down the Soko Road. And yeah, I'll tell you, man, it was it was certainly a road, and it was steep, and it was windy, and it was all good. I suppose if I'm honest, I am sitting on a field of victory. I'm out on this little porch patio thing, just watching traffic go by. Ain't got nowhere to be, ain't got nothing to do, except for a lot of stuff. 7:44. I still want to be asleep by like 9. I think that's doable. But yeah, crazy day. I hope that my feet are all good. My splits look really good. It definitely looks like I was on the road today. My average pace was 16 and a half minute miles. The total elapsed time was 11 hours and 33 minutes. So, wow, that elevation profile is disgusting. Ugh, man, I totally felt that. And yeah, so I guess 10, 11. So I took 2 hours and 20 minutes of breaks today. Is that right? I guess that's possible. I don't know. But yeah, man, quite a day. I really, when I'm doing these kind of mission-oriented days, there's not really a lot of room for broader cognition. I really am just trying to put in the work and put in the time so that I can get where I'm going and succeed. For me, it is a race against time, and it's a race against the weather. So for me, it's just important. Like I'm not looking for intellectual or psychological or emotional realizations on days like this. I'm just like, I'm trying to keep myself motivated. I'm trying to keep myself moving, and I'm trying to make sure that all of my levels and all of my needfuls have been properly met. My levels are like my needfuls. So like the levels are just like food and water, basically, and caffeine, and all the things that make the go machine go. And, that occupies a large part of my mind, because a day like today is no small feat. In fact, it makes your feet big. And yeah, just like some dog just jumped out of a car. What's up, dog? It looks like it's smelling me, which I wouldn't be surprised by. Well, that's a cute little dog. Seems nice. There was I think there was one dog today that was not so cute, not so nice, but I can't really remember. What's up, dog? So curious. So, yeah, what do I have to say about today? Well, I should say I did not end up sleeping at that church that had the spring. I found this awesome road that was like an old Jeep road that went behind a gas station. And then it took me to even older Jeep roads that were very dilapidated. And I just found a small little nook that was very, very level. And I was able to set up my tent, and everything went really, really nicely. I slept for, I don't even know, 10 hours or something like that, which I definitely want to replicate tonight. I got to make sure that the go machine can go. And boy, I hope that their breakfast is like a hot breakfast. I probably can do some research, but I'm getting distracted. So yeah, I slept on this dilapidated road, which was perfect. I was really, really hoping for something that good today because, my standards are really, really low. The only thing that I really want is just a flat piece of ground that is hidden. And in a little place like Maggie Valley, I mean, I feel like I might as well be in Breckenridge. Like, this just doesn't have the type of rural infrastructure. I'd have to walk out of town. I'm sure tomorrow when I walk out of town, I'm going to be like, man, I could have stayed there. But I'm going to go ahead and get ahead of myself and just say, no. Even though the Appalachian Trail and even though these kind of things are like a lot of hard work, like for me personally, I need to keep it in my mind that it is also play and it is also fun. And, I didn't anticipate caving and how many more negative connotations can I put through this decision? I didn't anticipate staying at a hotel tonight. It probably would have changed my whole strategy if I had, but sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. You just gotta kind of roll with the punches, and you gotta take things as they come, and this is how it is. So anyway, woke up at around 7:30. I wanted to be walking by 8, which I did, and so walked out, went back to that cold spring, got a liter of water, and then walked almost 6 miles to McDonald's, the happiest place on earth, and was able to have a very good breakfast reminiscent of my time on the bike ride. And I guess that's probably, I think I was there for 30 minutes. I'm trying to account for 2 hours of not moving time, but yeah, 30 minutes at least. Got all my needfuls done. All my health bars were raised to 100%. Felt good. Felt ready to go, and so hit the road again and headed towards Cherokee. Now, was there anything substantial that happened between Bryson City and Cherokee? I don't think so, but Cherokee was another checkpoint for me. I was able to go to another McDonald's, and I ate lunch for free, which was awesome. Shout out to Zach Davis, and shout out to my parents. I had gotten enough points in the morning to get a free cheeseburger and a free chicken sandwich. So I was able to fill up my waters at the McDonald's and charge my phone a little bit, which, hey, I'll be able to charge things tonight, so that's another bonus. And then I went to a Food Lion and got mayonnaise, a beer, and what else did I get? There was a third thing. I wrote them all down. Do I still have them in my notes? No. What was the third thing? There were 3 distinct things. I didn't want to forget any of them, and so I wrote them down. It was beer or wine, mayonnaise, and then a third thing. What could it have been? I really don't remember. That's funny. Let me try to think. I know I went towards the beer and wine section first, and then I went over to, it's something small for sure, something obvious, or at least should be obvious. I don't even know. But yeah, did that, and then headed out of Cherokee, and I really didn't know what I was up against leaving Cherokee. I think today I did the bulk of the climbing that I'm going to do in order to get to Hot Springs, and that's another thing that I did today, which was to confirm my reservations at the hostel at Hot Springs. And so right now I am 44 miles away from Hot Springs, and that should be a good deal. I'm looking at the route right now. That basically means that I'll have a 14-mile day into Hot Springs, and I'll have 2,000 feet of elevation gain, 2,600, and then 4,200 feet of descent. So that's over who even knows. But yeah, it looks, I don't really know. I could be way wrong, but I'm guessing, and I can do the logistics for this tonight, but there's a couple of churches on the way up, and I think I might try to stay at one of those tomorrow. Who knows, my dude? 28 miles. That seems like a reasonable thing, especially if they have water. But anyway, I guess I could do that. Yeah, because since I did 33 miles today, I could stay at this church, which would be a Sunday night. What does this church look like on satellite view? It's right off the road. Seems like there's probably somewhere there to hide. So yeah, that might be my plan tomorrow. Oh Lord, what a day! And there's still so many needfuls to be done. You know, I can take a shower and I can sleep in a bed. First time on the trail. So, 2 weeks with no beds, and I've enjoyed it. Like, I like that I can do that. I like that having a bed is like not a requirement for me. And in fact, I mean, again, to go back to my own deprecation of my decision making tonight, I like that, staying here this evening is like, it feels like too much, like, but again, I gotta view this as like a certain type of vacation. And tonight is a night to luxuriate and celebrate and take care of my feet and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a total slog to get up from Cherokee to Maggie Valley. At a certain point, I kind of realized, and this is kind of an interesting realization, probably not a unique one, but I kind of realized that like walking around in shoes and socks, it makes your feet obviously get like sweaty, and I think that sweaty feet it's easier to develop blisters. And so I could kind of feel my feet getting to a point where like blisters were developing. And so I actually took my shoes off at a certain point and put my sandals on. I have to say, having these sandals has been a huge asset for this whole like journey so far. Just having an alternate pair of shoes that is like completely reasonable to wear while doing this kind of a thing is good. You know what I'm saying? Do I have anything on my notes? No, of course not. So yeah, I guess tomorrow will be a 28-mile day, and then a 16-mile day into Hot Springs. And yeah, my dude, maybe the weather, who even knows? Who even knows, my dude? I mean, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. What is there to say? Much more than that. I don't even know. I feel pretty hungry. If I did burn 5,000 calories today, I can tell you for sure I did not eat that many. So, might need to change that here in a minute. But yeah, dude, the brain. Oh, the brain. Well, for fear of saying even less than I currently am, I think I'll leave it there for now. And yeah, I'll get back to you tomorrow, hopefully from that church. And I'm going to go through Lake Junaluska tomorrow. And then from Lake Junaluska, it's basically a straight shot north, like due north, up to Hot Springs. And so I'm going to definitely need to go to a grocery store and get the food that I will need in Lake Junaluska, because I don't think there's going to be as many resources between that and Hot Springs, but it should be something that's totally doable. Oh, one cool thing that did happen today was that I found surprise water. Like, I was walking up that Soko Road, and so there was like some natural water coming out from the mountain, And as far as I knew, that water was basically like coming straight out of the mountain, and it couldn't have been contaminated by anything because above that and behind that was the Blue Ridge Parkway. So that was pretty cool. I was able to have my hydration game strong today, but certainly tired, certainly ready to move on with what's next. And so I think I will. So for now, 20-minute clip. That's all I can do. Love you, bye.